What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Midhunter Comics, and today I'm going to give you a top 100 valuable magazines. For today's criteria, we're talking about copies in which the near mint is at least $50. Might be some really fun surprises that maybe you find you own a copy in your attic or something. Drop down below your favorite magazine or maybe something that you heard in this video that really excites you and might be the next thing you hunt. We're going to go alphabetically here. First one's going to be Alter Ego, number 7. This was a 60s unofficial first appearance of Black Adam since the Golden Age. Famously, the actual first appearance of Black Adam since the Golden Age didn't come until the 70s. But this fanzine, a fan-published magazine, did have it. It also has a little blurb about Roy Thomas, which even predates his first published comic work for Marvel by 1 year. So it's kind of a weird unofficial double key, and it can be several hundreds of dollars. Next is going to be an illustrated history of Heidi Saha. Might be pronouncing that wrong. It had a 500 print count, so you're not really going to find this too easy. She was a 14-year-old girl who competed in a lot of Vampirella cosplays at the time. And it's a magazine talking about her experiences, and it talks about maybe a little bit of her mishandling and the fact that she was underage. And it talks about her father, which actually coined the term Trekkie. Once again, several hundreds of dollars, and it makes sense because of the low print count. Back issue 17 is going to be our first classic cover. This is a Bruce Timm, which everyone goes crazy for, Bruce Timm art featuring Tigra. It's going to be about $70 in near mint. Keeping it alphabetically, we're on Captain Britain number 1. This is our actual first appearance of Captain Britain. One that I have proudly owned a 9/8 white pager of one time. Also does include a mask in the issue, so make sure it's got that. This is going to be about $300 in near mint. Number 8 is the first appearance of Betsy Braddock. We know her as Psylocke. It's actually worth even more than a Captain Britain number 1. It's really hard to find in near mint. This one's going to be about $500-600. You also have the first meeting of Captain America and Captain Britain in issue 16. Now there's a volume 2, which has one that is pretty valuable. It's number 13. It's the first cover appearance of Betsy Braddock as Captain Britain, and this is going to be a couple $100. Comic Media News 27 is a preview of Captain Britain in a British fanzine. Interior explanation of Captain Britain's creative development as Marvel's first original content made for the British market. It precedes Captain Britain number 1, so people go nuts for previews. It's about $150 in near mint. Comics Journal 84 is the first Todd McFarlane artwork in the letters of a comic-related publication. This is another fanzine, not a professionally released Marvel or DC thing, though. Circulation of the fanzine during this time frame was approximately about 10,000 copies. Comic Scene 31 previews Harley Quinn, and it actually predates Batman Adventures number 12. Same thing with the previews here. People go nuts. About $150. The Creature, number 1. This is a 1977, very early Dave Stevens work here. It's actually not even him doing the art. It's him inking, but it still counts. Creepy number 1. We're now into the horror. We've got first appearance of Uncle Creepy. Again, about $150 here. Creepy number 9, first published sketch by Bernie Wrightson, published in the fan mail section. This is going to be another $125, $150 near mint. Bernie Wrightson's like the king of horror, so that's a big one to remember. Creepy number 14 has early interior art by Neil Adams in a story titled Curse of the Vampire, so commit that one to memory. That one's going to be about $70 in near mint. Number 32 is simply an iconic Frazetta. You're going to hear iconic Frazetta a couple times during the course of this video. It's about $100. Number 50 is a classic cover of all the horror hosts, Cousin Eerie, Uncle Creepy, Vampirella. It just meets our cutoff at $50 in near mint. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 1 is the first appearance of the Sons of the Tiger, Bob Diamond, Black Tiger, and Lin Sun. It's about $60. Deadly Hands 19 is technically the first white tiger, Hector Ayala. It actually beats that one comic book from Spectacular Spider-Man. First Puerto Rico superhero in comic book history, and first Latino superhero created by Marvel. It's a $300 if you got a near minty there. 22 is the first full appearance of Jack of Hearts, who actually was a magazine character first before all the comics. That one's going to be about $150. Number 28 is the first Bruce Lee in story. He previously appeared on covers, but this was an actual dedicated story. This is like a $70 high. How about Dracula Lives #1? It's just the premiere issue of the 13-issue magazine series by Curtis Comics under Marvel. This is about an $80 high. Dracula Lives #2 is the first appearance of Leanda, the gypsy turned Dracula into vampire. First appearance of Marie Laveau, the queen of voodoo, who uses magic to seek out vampires. Another $50-$60 high. Number 5, first Cagliostro, a sorcerer and enemy of Dracula. $50. Now, Dracula Lives #10 is the first story featuring Lilith, who is the wife or daughter, I kind of forget, of Dracula. It's got a little value, $50. Eerie magazine, The Ash Can. This is stupidly scarce, stupidly valuable, estimated 200 print count. The publisher of this magazine quickly printed the first issue of their magazine to beat the rival Eerie publications from using the title. So they just made a quick Ash Can just so they could get the trademark. This thing's like $3,000. Good luck. Eerie magazine #2, first appearance of Cousin Eerie, one of those famous horror hosts. $100 there. Eerie magazine #17, simply on here because it's scarce. It is a great cover. It's about $200. 23, another classic Frazetta. This one actually has a crazy value. This is one of Frazetta's most recognizable works. It's $400 if you got a near mint. Number 25 is an early classic Steranko. This one's coming in at $200, so commit that to memory. Number 39 is first appearance of Dax the Warrior. Just meets our cutoff, $50 in near mint. 49 is first Marvin the Dead Thing, a swamp monster, much akin to that of Swamp Thing or Man Thing. And it kind of matches that time period, so interesting, $60. Eerie Tales #1, anthology of horror stories, created by a character named Morgan, the Morgue Keeper, first introduced in Weird Mysteries #1 from 1959. That's like $700, no joke. Eminem the Punisher Kill You. It's an 8-page promo that was in the middle of a magazine, and there's a couple versions of it, but this one's got a little pop culture to it too. There are 9/8 of this, believe it or not, but at least the raw is about $400-$500. Fantasy Quarterly #1, first appearance of Elf Quest, $200. I got a collection last year that had every single one other than #1. Foom magazine #1, here we go, premiere issue with a Steranko cover featuring Stan Lee. This is going to be about $150. Foom #2 is the very famous prototype of Wolverine, published a year and a half earlier prior to Wolverine's first appearance, created by Andy Olson of Fan. It's going to be about $500. Foom #10 is going to be the most valuable one. It's the preview of the new X-Men team that we all know from Giant Size X-Men. Well, this actually predates it, and they're on the cover. It's about a $2,000 near mint, but the 94, 96, 98 can do some pretty crazy numbers if you get it graded. Foom 15, first preview of Ms. Marvel, Carol Danvers. This is about $80. Still good. Boom 17, another Stan Lee cover. This one's by Arnold Sawyer, also about $100 in a near mint. Fungus Rodeo #1 as a 5-page interview with Jack Kirby and has poems and letters by Charles Manson. $150 and pretty scarce. Haunt of Horror #5, first cover appearance of Satana, $80. Heavy Metal #1, the premiere issue of the classic science fiction fantasy magazine. It's $100 in near mint. Heavy Metal 183 is a 5,000 Frank Miller issue with an interview. He did the cover. It's pretty scarce. It's $100. Heavy Metal 273 is the concept art by Jack Kirby for a movie called The Lord of Night that was never made. In 1980, a CIA operative used the Lord of Night concept from this to convince the Iranian government that he was a filmmaker working on a sci-fi movie called Argo. Stay with me here. This resulted in the successful rescue of 6 Americans who escaped Iran disguised as the film crew, an event later dramatized in the critically acclaimed movie Argo from 2012. Heavy Metal 53 and 54, I put these together, so it's your first appearance and cover appearance of Tarna, for a combined value of about $300. Legion of Monsters #1, great cover. First team appearance of Legion of Monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, and Manphibian. I think it's the first appearance of Manphibian, too. Love and Rockets #1, the actual #1, 32-pager, first appearance of Love and Rockets. Very expensive. It can be anywhere from like $700 to like $1,000 in near mint. Mad, we're finally bringing up Mad #24. Why am I not talking about 1, 2, and 3? Because those were technically comics. Mad only became a magazine after the establishment of the Comics Code Authority. So they switched over to a magazine which was not under the thumb of the Comics Code Authority. And the first one was 24. Very expensive. It's going to be $1,000 in high grade. Mad #30 is the first Alfred E. Newman on the cover of a Mad magazine. Alfred E. Newman is the face of Mad. This is the first one where he's actually on the cover. $300. Marvel Comics Super Special #1, second appearance of Kiss in comics. The ink used to print the book is mixed with the blood of the members. Very famous. $300 in near mint. Super Special #4 is the Beatles special, and Beatles fans love this. I've actually sold a couple of these myself. Super Special 16 adapts Empire Strikes Back, so it's your technical first Yoda, your first Boba, your first Lando, all that stuff. It's got a high value of about $200 in near minty. Super Special 18 is your first Indiana Jones in comics. That's going to be about $75 in near mint, but I think the 9.8 does something crazy. Super Special #5 is another one of the Kiss ones, not quite as valuable as the other one, but still got some value coming in at like $100 in near mint. Marvel graphic novel #1 is The Death of Captain Marvel, and I consider it to be a must read. Inspired by Michelangelo's Pieta, about a $75 high. It has a lot of printings, though. Make sure it's the first printing. Same with #4, which is your actual first appearance of the New Mutants. There's a bunch of printings for that one. That's going to be about $100. Marvel Preview #2 is the first appearance of Maria Castle, the wife of Frank, and first appearance of Dominic Fortune, Hero for Hire. Origin of Punisher, great cover and everything. $150, maybe $200 in near mint. Marvel Preview #3 is first appearance of Afari, Blade's vampire mentor. First Di Thomas, a detective who specializes in magic and paranormal activities, $125. Marvel Preview #4, very famous first Star-Lord. You got about a $200 near minty here. Once again, the 9.8 can get pretty crazy though. Marvel Preview #7, first Rocky Raccoon, obviously later became Rocket Raccoon, $350 on that one. Marvel Preview #8, cover by Ken Barr featuring Blade and Morbius, and it is a beautiful cover, $100 on that one. Marvel Preview 21 is a Bill Sienkiewicz cover, solo Moon Knight story that actually predates Moon Knight #1, and a really good cover. It's about a $100 near mint. Marvel Mania magazine #2. On the back is what makes this value. On the back displays the rejected Ditko art that was going to be the original cover for Amazing Fantasy 15, Spider-Man's first appearance. It also previews the first appearance of Conan the Barbarian, so it's a double key there. I'm actually a little surprised it's not worth more. It's about $200. Monsters Unleashed, first Solomon Kane in comics. #1 there, it's about a $75 high. I don't know if I can pronounce this. I'll try. Mysticographil #2. Fanzine and cover and art by Dave Stevens, with the back cover being a Neil Adams. So you got two giants of art right there in one book. It's a $300 high. Watch out. Nightmare #20. Early John Byrne in the comic industry. 2-page interiors. It's about an $80 book, especially if you're a Byrne enthusiast. You got to have it. Nintendo Comic System #1, first appearance of Captain N. It's about $100 to $200. They're so scarce and it hits the market so rarely, the value is kind of unknown. There's a couple of variants of it too. Nintendo Power number 6, first unprofessionally published J. Scott Campbell. It's about $50. Planet of the Apes number 1, this is the first media version we got in print of Planet of the Apes. There are some Planet of the Apes comics that came later, but this is the first media one. It's about $100. Psycho Magazine, premiere issue of the Silver Age horror magazine, $100 in high grade. Psycho Magazine number 2, first appearance and origin of The Heap, also about $100. Raw number 2 is the technical Spiegelman classic of Mouse. Now, this was a weirdly big-sized magazine. It's not your standard magazine size. I've seen these before. The Mouse issues were on like 2 through 5, and they were like a little weird insert in the middle of the book. It's kind of what makes Mouse so hard to collect. So obviously, these are pretty expensive. The historical significance and cultural significance of Mouse is unparalleled. That's like $1,000 to get your hands on like a near mint number 2, and you're not just getting a near mint number 2, you have to get the near mint insert too, and a lot of times they don't have the insert. Savage Sword of Conan 1. It's actually your first chainmail bikini of Red Sonja. First appearance of Black Mark. It's $150, $200 near mint. Number 2, first interiors by Mike Zeck, my favorite Marvel artist from the 80s. $50. Savage Sword of Conan 5, painted cover by Buscema and Boris Vallejo, another $50 one. And $235, we're skipping quite a bit. This is a very scarce final issue. It's actually got about $100 value. Savage Tales magazine number 1, first appearance of Man-Thing. That's a big one. First Femizons, $900 to $1,000. Scream magazine, first Nosferatu, $80. Snafu, number 1, 1955. First appearance of Irving Forbush, who later became the Forbush Man in the Not Brand X series from the 60s. Fictional employee of Marvel, not Marvel, Marvel Comics. $300 high. Spectacular Spider-Man Mag, number 1. We got a Rosenbaum and Ramita Senior collaboration painted cover on number 1. Number 2 is also a Ramita Senior painted cover. That's got some value too at about $100. Star Wars Rebels magazine number 1, first Sabine Wren in comic book magazine stories, $60. Transformers 113, first Death's Head, a robot bounty hunter. This is a UK mag only. Watch out. Vampire Tales number 1, first solo story featuring Morbius, the living vampire, clocking in at about $80. Vampire Tales number 2, first Satana, sister of Damon Hellstrom, $300. That's the big one. Vampire Tales number 8 is the first solo story featuring Blade. That's about a $200 near mint high. Vampirella number 1, first appearance of Vampirella and Planet Dracula. That's a major one. You get a near mint, you're talking like $2,000. Number 2, second appearance of Vampirella, first Draculina, Vampirella's sister, and first Evely, Vampirella's cousin. That's another expensive one, about $400. Number 3, second appearance of Evely, is going to be about $300. Number 5, classic Frazetta, couple $100 there. Number 6, first cover by Ken Kelly. That's a good one. A couple $100 there. Number 7, cover art by Frank Frazetta. Initially a poster titled Sun Goddess, republished for this issue's cover, $100. Number 8, first full appearance of Vampirella, feature that began to develop her character, written by Archie Goodwin. First Adam and Conrad Van Helsing. Number 9, Vampirella discovers the Blood Chronicles, which provides her a serum that allows her to survive without drinking blood. Just some key origin points to her story, $100. Number 11, another Frazetta, first appearance of Mordecai Pendragon, a drunken stage magician, an ally of Vampirella, $200. Vampirella 19, interior, front and back cover chronicles the creation of Vampirella by editor J.R. Cochran, who reveals the character was inspired by the classic sci-fi movie Barbarella. It's also the first Vampy cover by Jose Gonzalez, and it's $100. Keeping alphabetical, we're going to go Warrior Magazine number 1, first V for Vendetta, first appearance of Marvel Man since 1963, and first Axel press button. That's about $1,000. Weekly Shonen Jump, number 34, first One Piece. That's going to be about $200 in a near mint, but could be more. 43 is first Naruto. That one's about $500. They just keep going up here. The big one, 838, is first Goku and Dragon Ball. Now this one, $3,000 more. I mean, the cultural significance of Dragon Ball Z is crazy. So this extremely hard to find book, you better believe, has a crazy price tag. 1,417 is first Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's about $1,000 too. So we got some big money in some of these shonen jumps. Wizard, number 1, McFarlane cover. This was the big thing that talked about previews. It talked about what's going on in comics, had great creator interviews. This used to be a lot higher. COVID might have hurt this one. Now it's like a $300 near mint, maybe less. Wonder Woman, number 0, the preview. This was an unknown how many of these were made. Not technically supposed to be distributed at all. It's the first appearance of Artemis in a weird like ash can version. It's about like $200 in near mint. Young Magazine 24, first appearance of Akira in a manga magazine. Unknown value, but estimated at being around $1,000, but you might be able to get it for cheaper. You might have to spend a bit more. And what a great way to end it with one of the most expensive ones, Gobbledygook, number 1 and 2, first appearance of Fugitoid, and an advertisement for TMNT number 1. Now, weirdly, when I was doing my research, they were actually saying that Gobbledygook number 2 had a higher value than number 1. A little surprised by that. Maybe it's, I guess people have found number 1 out there, but 2 is still harder to find. Yeah, I don't know. I think number 1, first appearance of Fugitoid, and that whole TMNT ad is the one. But you know what? If you have both, you've got some serious money. Could even be more than $4,000 with the two of them. And I just realized it's not on the list, but I'm pretty sure the first technical appearance of Judge Dredd was in a magazine. So I'll just put up a picture of that, whatever that book is, and I'll drop a price for it. But that's, I know, very hard to find. All right, guys, these are the 100 magazines that have some crazy value. I'm sure I've missed some stuff, some more classic Frazetta covers. There's probably some more underground and some other fanzines that I missed in here. But do you have any of these? Did you notice that this was a very Marvel list? Why do you think DC never really dabbled in the magazine game? Drop down below your favorite magazine, or maybe something that you heard in this video that really excites you and might be the next thing you hunt. I'll see you at the next video. Keep on hunting. And now a quick word talking about the comic shop. Some of you know that I have a room set up in an antique shop in New Jersey. Well, I seem to be doing okay because people know me from YouTube. They come and see the stuff. But a lot of the other vendors rely heavily on foot traffic. And there has been construction not only blocking the sideway, but actually so far as blocking the entrance of our stinking building for like 3 months now. Most people know to come and park somewhere else, but it's really hurting the foot traffic for the other vendors. So for the foreseeable future, to help the other guys out in this building, I'm just gonna say that if you get at least one thing from any other vendor, all my $10 and under stuff is gonna be 30% off.